السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا إنك سميع مجيب الدعاء. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ونفس لا تشبع ودعاء لا يسمع. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Today, inshallah, we are going to continue the story of the man with two gardens and the believer. Uh, we started this story last time, and we said that this is the second fitna. Yeah, this story exemplified the second fitna we have in Surah Al-Kahf, which is the fitna related to, who knows, Mm,
Wealth,
what kind of fitna? The man,
wealth, wealth, which
wealth,
wealth.
exactly. Thank you. Yeah, so it's a fitna related to wealth. So, um, and we are going to discuss today, inshallah, how to save ourselves or what is the way out of this fitna. Okay, it's all about your perspective to this life. Okay, it depends on your perspective to this life. So just to have an overall view of this surah, as we said before, Surah Al-Kahf is addressing three fitna. The first fitna is related to the first one related to the faith or religion, the deen, okay? And we all are exposed to this fitna day and night. Um, this fitna is exemplified in the story of the people of the cave, and we set the way out or how to save ourselves from this fitna. Two things. What they are? Anybody knows? How to save ourselves from the fitna related to deen or religion. واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي. So it's all about good companionship. Okay. So الصحبة الصالحة. Okay. To have good friends that encourage you to do good things. So this is a way out for the fitna related to religion or related to faith. The second thing is وَاتْلُ مَا أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ كِتَابِ رَبِّكَ. Okay. To stick to the holy book, the book of Allah. So this is how to save yourself from the fitna of deen. So if you notice, the Surah Al-Kahf is telling us what is the fitna you are exposed to throughout your life and how to save yourself from this fitna. So this is amazing. Um, so we already done with the people of the cave, the first story. Uh, and how they save themselves from the fitna related to religion. And now we are discussing the second fitna related to wealth. And we talked the last time about the man with two gardens who bragged about his wealth and the believer who doesn't have such wealth. The problem lies with this man with two gardens in his gratitude and in doubting the resurrection. Okay, if you remember what he said, أنا أكثر منك مالا. Okay, وأعز نفرا. ولئن رددت إلى ربي. So in means he is doubting the resurrection. Okay, after this. So this story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of wealth-induced arrogance, and forgetting the source of all blessings. So he showed ingratitude to Allah as he believes that this is out of his efforts, out of his intelligence, and so on. So um also, these verses illustrate how Allah can take away His gifts, as we will see today, as easily as He bestows them. So Allah can grant you out of nowhere many, many blessings. And if you showed ingratitude, Allah can take them as easily as He bestows these blessings upon you. Okay, so today, inshallah, we will see the responses of the believer to the man with two gardens who said last time, أنا أكثر منك مالا وأعز نفرا ولئن رددت إلى ربي. Okay, so we'll see the believer's responses for each point the man with two garden has highlighted. So we'll go as usual verse by verse, and then we read the Tafseer Al-Sa'di, and we will discuss the names of Allah, whether mentioned directly or indirectly, and we will also highlight the to-do list. What should we do after understanding the meaning of these verses? And we will also make tadabbur by reflecting on the consequences, and will end by the tazkiyah plan. What should we purify ourselves from, and what should we develop ourselves by? Okay? So I just want someone to read the Quranic verses, the Arabic text. So who would like to start? Sorry,
Okay.
let's start from the beginning.
السلام عليكم.
Okay.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. So I just wanted to go back. Okay. Who would like to read? Sister Bilqis or who?
يعني
Okay. Please start. The Arabic text only. بسم الله الرحمن
أوكي.
الرحيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال له صاحبه وهو يحاوره أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا
Continue.
لكنه هو الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله إن ترني أنا أقل منك مالا وولدا فعسى ربي أن يؤتيني خيرا من جنتك ويرسل عليها حسبانا من السماء ويرسل عليها حسبانا من السماء فتصبح صعيدا زلفا
زلقا. This is قاف.
زلقا أو
Mhm.
يصبح ماؤها غورا فلن تستطيع له طلبا وأحيط بثمره فأصبح
There is no
يقلب
مد
كف
here. There
أوكي
is no مد. بثمره فأصبح. Just the two counts.
أوكي وأحيط بثمره فأصبح يقلب كفيه أنفق فيها على ما أنفق فيها وهي خاوية على عروشها ويقول يا ليتني لم أشرك بربي أحدا
Sorry.
ولم تكن له فئة ينصرونه من دون الله وما كان منتصرا هنالك الولاية لله الحق هو خير هو خير ثوابا وخير عقبا.
Great. ما شاء الله. جزاك الله خيرا. So, uh, I just need someone else to read the English text. The story, the whole story. Okay. Sister Drisha, would you like to read it?
Yes, sure,
Or
inshallah.
Sister Iran, anyone?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, the English text only.
His believing friend said to him while having this conversation, "Do you reject the one who created your father Adam from dust? Then he created you from sperm. Then he made you into a male human being and proportioned your limbs, making you complete. The one who has power to do all of that is able to resurrect you too." There is no.
Continue, please.
But I do not profess this statement of yours. I simply say, He, Allah, may He be glorified, is my Lord, who has showered us with His blessings, and I do not associate anyone with Him in worship. If only when you entered your garden you had said, "As Allah wills," no one has any power except through Allah. He is the one who does as He pleases, and He is the one of strength. If you regard me as someone poorer than you and the one with less children. I anticipate that Allah will give me something better than your garden, and that He will send on your garden a punishment from the sky, making it a barren piece of land on which feet will slip due to its being so smooth. Or its water may sink so deep into the ground that you will never be able to reach it again in any way. Once the water sinks deep, the garden will not survive. What the believer anticipated occurred. Destruction engulfed the fruit of the disbeliever's garden, and the disbeliever began wringing his hands on account of extreme regret and remorse over the money that he had spent on its maintenance and upkeep, while the garden had fallen over the supports on which the grapevine are spread out, and he was saying, "I wish I had believed in my Lord alone, and I had not associated anyone with him in worship." This disbeliever had no group to protect him from the punishment that fell on him, whereas he was the one who used to boast about his group. He himself too could not stop Allah from destroying his garden. In that situation, victory is for Allah alone. May He be glorified, is best in rewarding His friends who have faith, as He multiplies the reward for him, and He is the best in outcome for them.
And Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you so much. Okay, so what is the meaning of the verses today? I just want you to connect the replies and the responses of the believer who is advising the man with two garden, to what the man with two gardens said. The man with two gardens said, أنا أكثر منك مالا وأعز نفرا. Okay, and also said ما أظن أن تبيد هذه أبدا ولئن رددت إلى ربي لأجدن خيرا منها منقلبا وما أظن الساعة قائمة. Right? So he said many things. أنا أكثر منك مالا. This is like an arrogance. He is just bragging about his self over him. Okay. And he also said ما أظن أن تبيد هذه أبدا. So he is denying the destruction of this garden. He also denying the hereafter. وما أظن الساعة قائمة. So if you were in the place of this believer, what would you start with? Would you start applying to which point? Maybe you wanted to defend yourself. You are saying you are better than me and you have more wealthy than me. I'm better than you and so, right? We usually started like this. We usually defend ourselves if someone attacking us. But this man was um so nervous when he denied the hereafter. So he started his speech by addressing this point. What he said, قال له صاحبه وهو يحاوره أكفرت. This is kufr. If you deny the hereafter, if you deny the hour, this is kufr, because you know part of our iman, al-iman بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره. So اليوم الآخر, the hereafter, is part and parcel of your iman, of your faith. So if you are denying the resurrection, if you are denying the hereafter, this is means you are kafir. Okay, you are no longer believer. So he said his believing friend said to him whilst having this conversation, do you reject أكفرت بالذي خلق, the one who created you? And he is reminding you by his origin. Okay, you are created from nothing, from dust, from semen or sperm. Okay. ثم سواك رجلا. He made you a human being. So how can you deny or disbelieve in Allah who created you from nothing? Or you are supposed to show humility to Allah because you were nothing, and Allah who made you a human being and give you all these blessings. Okay, so here he started with with reminding this man with two garden with the hereafter, and this is kufr. You have to take care of this, and reminding him of his origin. You were nothing, and Allah who made you a human being. Okay, then he addressed something else and he declared that لكنه الله ربي. So we need to declare our faith publicly without fearing, without feeling shameful from anything. Okay, you have to be proud of your faith. لكنه الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا. So I profess that Allah is my Lord, and I do not associate anyone with Him in worship. Okay. Then he moved to the second point. Can you remember when he said وَدَخَلَ جَنَّتَهُ وَهُوَ ظَالِمٌ لِنَفْسِهِ قال ما أظن أن تبيد هذه أبدا. He addressed this point. He said you should have said while entering your garden ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. Okay, so this is the second point. You should have said Allah, as Allah wills, no one has any power except through Allah. Okay, this is not your own effort. This is not your own intelligence. This is all because of Allah. Allah gave you all these blessings. Okay, so ولولا is like rebuking him. You should have said something else. You should have attribute all the blessings, all these blessings to Allah. You should show servitude to Allah who gave you all these blessings, not to brag about yourself and tell me, see this and see that. Okay? And when he told him, أنا أكثر منك مالا وأعز نفرا, he said, إن ترني أنا أقل منك مالا وولدا. So this is a new statement, okay? This is why we are encouraged to stop here. ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله, because the next one is a second point and it will be completed by the next verse. إن ترني أنا أقل منك مالا وولدا. If you see that I am poorer than you and I with less children, فعسى ربي أن يؤتيني خيرا من جنتك ويرسل عليها حسبانا من السماء فتصبح صعيدا زلقا. So if you see that I'm poorer than you, who knows? May all things turn it upside down. In 1 second, Allah can turn things upside down and they can deprive you from all that you have and give me better than you. Who knows? Okay, فعسى ربي أن يبدلني خيرا من جنتك. He may give me something better than your garden. If not in this life, maybe in the hereafter. Okay? ويرسل عليها حسبانا, and send like destruction and punishment from a sky. And we'll talk what does حسبانا mean. Okay? حسبانا could mean like صاعقة. Okay, surrender or a punishment. Okay, and it could be from hisab, you see, like a punishment equal to your action. Okay, you showed ingratitude to Allah. Okay, Allah can deprive you from all things He has given to you. As simple as this. Allah gives it to you without something in return, and He can deprive you as easily as He bestowed these blessings upon you. Okay, making a parent, and not just ويرسل عليها حسبانا من السماء فتصبح صعيدا زلقا. Okay, not just destroy the fruits that you were bragging about, but he can also destroy the origin, the land itself. It become barren, fruitless. Okay, you can't even cultivate it anymore. It will not be able to be cultivated anymore. Okay. أو يصبح ماؤها غورا فلن تستطيع له طلبه, or its water may sink so deep in the ground so you will never be able to reach it again. So, um, so everything can be turned upside down. Allah can deprive you from all blessings in a second. Okay. وأحيط بثمره. Can you remember when he said what is ثمره? What is the context of ثمره? Um, can anyone remember the verse that the man said related to ثمره? Um, that's I'll be anyway. Let me check the verse. The man said related to ثمره, because this is like a reply to the man who said something related to ثمره, related to the ثمر. Let's remember together what the man said. He said وَدَخَلَ جَنَّتَهُ. I think the verse before it. وحففناهما بنخل وجعلنا بينهما زرعا كلتا الجنتين آتت أكلها وكان له ثمر فقال لصاحبه وهو يحاوره أنا أكثر منك So he was bragging about, he was bragging about the sum the fruits, okay, the delicate grapes he had. So that is why the distraction engulfed the fruit he was bragged about. Okay, so وأحيط بثمره فأصبح يقلب كفيه. He was struck by what happened to this garden because he spent so much effort على ما أنفق فيها وهي خاوية على عروشها. He remorse over the money that he spent on its maintenance, and um, the garden had fallen over the supports on which the grapevines are spread out. Okay, everything have turned upside down. ويقول يا ليتني لم أشرك بربي أحدا. He is regretting what he uh, done, that he anyone with Allah in worship. Okay, because if you see that all you have right now from blessings, from job, from that is out of your qualification, out of your effort, out of your pursuits, okay, you are associate yourself with Allah. You are no longer seeing that Allah is the cause of all the blessings you have. Just to tell yourself that what I am doing can be nothing if Allah doesn't decree it to happen. Okay, so we have to show servitude to Allah. We have to show humility to Allah in order to preserve the blessings we have. ولم تكن له فئة ينصرونه. Can you remember when he said أنا أكثر منك مالا وأعز نفرا? So he was bragging about two things right now: wealth and nafar. Nafar could be children, could be soldiers. Okay, so no one supported him right now. Okay, this disbeliever had no longer group, had no group to protect him from the punishment that fell on him or on his garden. وما كان منتصرا. وما كان منتصرا. He couldn't stop Allah from destroying his garden. Okay, so if Allah is not by your side, no one can save you. So if anyone, I mean, if any person is angry with you, it doesn't matter. Unless Allah, if Allah is angry with you will be the loser. So you have to exert all efforts not to put yourself in this position, that to let Allah to be angry with you. Okay. هنالك الولاية لله الحق. And هنالك could be means two things: in that situation or in that time, in the hereafter. Okay. الولاية could also mean the victory, the support is for Allah alone, and it could also mean the sultan, the dominance is for Allah. Okay, so either way, I mean either or, both meanings means that Allah alone is the one who, in His hand is in everything is in His hand. Okay, he may be glorified, is the best rewarding his friends. هو خير ثوابا. He is the best rewarder. وخير عقبا. عقبا means he is the best outcome for those who glorify him and show gratitude to him. So I just want another sister to read Tafseer Al-Sa'di, these verses. Who would like to start? We have Sister Dufaida here. Welcome back. So would you please start?
Assalamu alaikum, Sabah, inshallah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, go ahead.
Al-Sadi Tafsir, his believing companion said to him, advising him and reminding him of the original state as Allah has created him in this world, do you disbelieve in the one who created you from dust then from a drop of semen, then fashioned you in a man. For it is he who has blessed you by bringing you into existence and providing for you, and he continued to shower you with his blessings and caused you to develop and grow until you became a man, in perfect physical shape and with complete mental faculties. Thus he made the means
Faculties, yes.
faculties. Thus he made the man's available to you and bestowed upon you the blessings of this world. So what you possess of worldly wealth was not gained by means of your own strength and power. Rather, it was by the blessings that Allah has bestowed upon you. So how can it be fitting for you to disbelieve in and be ungrateful to Allah, who created you from dust, then from a drop of semen? Then he fashioned you into a man. How can you deny these blessings and come and claim that he will not resurrect you? And that is that if he does resurrect you, he will give you a better garden than this. This is not appropriate and it is not right. Then he told his companion that the blessing that Allah has bestowed upon him of faith and Islam, even though he had little wealth and few children, was the true blessing, and that anything other than that was liable to diminish and vanish. Then the punishment would come upon him.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So here he is reminding him of his origin, that he was created from a drop of semen, and Allah has created him a human being with complete mental faculties, with complete mental abilities. Okay, so even his intelligence is a cause. So who have given you this intelligence? Allah. Okay, so we have to be grateful to the source of all these blessings. So this is a very important. What you possess of worldly wealth wasn't gained by means of your own strength and power. You have to pay special attention to this, because maybe you think that your salary is because of your work throughout the month. No, this is not a means of your wealth, strength, or power, or effort. Rather, it was by the blessings that Allah bestowed upon you. So you have to be pleased. Many people work hardest work, tedious work, and they don't gain unless a few amount of money or very small amount of money. So you have to be grateful for your job. You have to be grateful for Allah who give you your job, your children, because also your children are not of your own strength or power. This is like blessings Allah gave you, and you have to show gratitude to Allah for these blessings who bestowed upon you. So how can it be fitting for you to disbelieve and show ungrateful, be ungrateful, okay, or show ingratitude to Allah? So you see, ungratefulness are very يعني closed, um, very close to disbelief, because if you feel or you show ingratitude to Allah, you are so close of disbelief. Okay, you are disbelieving Allah because you are no longer be a servant to Allah. So this is part of your faith. That is why Surah Al-Fatiha starts with Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So we have to remind ourselves of of showing praise and thanks to Allah. Okay. Um, and again, he here is telling him that Allah fashioned you and Allah created you from nothing. And one of names of Allah is Al-Khaliq, Al-Bari, Al-Musawwir. So this is related to creation and fashion, and we will see the difference between these names. Also here Allah had bestowed upon him faith, which is an Islam, which is the greatest ni'mah, which is the greatest blessing you should be grateful for. Many people have many, many blessings, but if they lose faith, they lose everything. Okay? So this man, I mean the believer, appreciated this ni'mah, this he doesn't matter. I mean he doesn't consider whether he has little wealth and few children. Um, while this believer has many wealth or great wealth and many children, he doesn't occupy his mind with this comparison. Okay, he appreciated that he is believer, which is the greatest ni'mah, alhamdulillah. Everything else can be compensated, whether in this life or in the hereafter. But faith and Islam, I shouldn't go with them. Uh, I cannot compensate or make them up, because if I lose them, I lose everything in this life and in the hereafter. So this is a true blessing, okay? And everything other than that was liable to dimension vanish. So I don't care. I don't care if anyone has greater money than me, or has many children than me. I don't care. Everything will vanish and will diminish. Okay? Sooner or later. Okay? We don't wish something bad to people, but at least in the hereafter, or you know, this life is temporary life. Okay? It's a short term life. Okay? So everything will diminish one day. So I don't care about these worldly gains. I appreciate the blessings of Iman, of faith, and I have to work on and asking Allah to increase me in this part related to faith, related to Iman, okay, related to Quran, okay. Some people say, Allahumma wasi' rizqi fil Quran. Give me like great provision in Quran. I wanted to study it well, to dive into its meaning and so on. So we need to focus more on al-akhirah and things related to the hereafter. Okay, would you please continue?
Yes, Ustada. That is, the believer said to his disbelieving companion, although you boasted to me about your great wealth and many children, and you see that I have less wealth than you and fewer children, that which is with Allah is better and more lasting. And what is hoped for of his goodness and kindness is superior to everything in this world for which people compete. Yet my Lord may well give me something better than your garden and send upon your garden, because of which transgressed and were deceived thunderbolts from heaven, that is, as a punishment with heavy rain or otherwise leaving it, as a result of that barren and slippery, that is, with its trees uprooted, its fruits destroyed, its corpse drowned, and its benefits disappeared, or its water, that is essential to its survival, may disappear under the ground, so that you will never be able to find it again. That is, it may disappear in such a way that is cannot be reached by digging with pickaxes, or by any other means. The believer prayed against his garden in anger for the sake of his Lord, because it had deceived its owner, and caused him to transgress and be content with it. He did this in the hope that his companion would turn back to his Lord, come to his senses, and realize where he stood. Allah answered his supplication, so all his produce was destroyed. That is, the punishment destroyed it and whipped it out, so that there was nothing left of it. all the trees and their fruits, and all his corpse was destroyed. And he regretted it deeply and was very sad.
Okay, great, mashallah, thank you. So here he is telling him that if you see people are competing related to wealth and the children, everything in this life will perish and diminish. But what is more lasting is the things related to the hereafter. Okay, so um so he said, what is hoped of his goodness and kindness is superior to everything in this world which for which people compete. So people compete to usually to things related to worldly gains, but I care more for what is better and more lasting, which things related to the hereafter. So, and he said to him, your garden may be destroyed with heavy rain and be barren, slippery, and fruits will be destroyed, and so on. And the believer prayed against his garden in anger for the sake of Allah because he was bragging about. So this is also a lesson for us. We can pray against the disbeliever, okay? Because like what we do right now for those transgressors who fight against our Muslim in many countries and so on. So we can, this is permitted to us to pray against those people in anger for the sake of Allah. Um, so this man deceived, has been deceived and transgressed by his wealth. So this man prayed against him, and the punishment actually destroyed um, his garden and whipped it out. Okay, everything destroyed, the land, the fruits, the crops, everything. And of course, he regretted it deeply and was very sad. So let's continue.
And he began to wring his hands in sorrow at the loss of what he had spent on it. That is because he had spent a great deal of his worldly wealth on it. But when it was destroyed and vanished, he had nothing to compensate for it. He also regret his ascription of partners to Allah and his evil deeds. Therefore, he said, would that I had never associated anything with my Lord. He had none to support him against the punishment of Allah, nor was he able to help himself. That is, when the punishment befell his garden, he lost that which he had boasted about to his companion when he said, I am wealthier than you and have a greater um, and entourage. Entourage. Okay. They did
Yeah,
not word of his punishment from him at all at the time when he needed them most, and he could not help himself. How could he have helpers against the decree of Allah that he ordained and brought to pass? For if the inhabitants of heaven and earth were to come together to word of anything of the decree of Allah, they would not be able to do that. It is not far-fetched to say that by the mercy and kindness of Allah, the situation of this owner of the garden that was destroyed later improved, and Allah enabled him to turn back to him and came back to his senses and gave up his rebellion and transgression. That is based on the fact that he expressed regret for his ascription of partners to his Lord, and that Allah took away from him that which had caused him to transgress, and he punished him in this world.
Yeah, Jazakallah khairan. So here, the man is showing his regret for uh, the time he spent and the worldly wealth he spent in order to um, make this garden as beautiful as this. And when it was destroyed and vanished, nothing compensated for it. And he also come back to his sense and know that this is because the destruction of this garden, because his ascription of partners to Allah and his evil deeds. Okay, so now he knows the reason for. So that is why we are encouraged also to think about after any calamity struck us. Okay, we need to think about whether this is a test for us to test our patience and so on, or this is like a punishment for us to because of our evil deeds. Okay, so we need to think whenever we are in calamity or in a hard situation. Um, so this man realized that this is because his ascription of partners to Allah and his evil deeds, and um, the punishment to befall his garden when he lost that which he had boasted about to his companion. Okay, ولم تكن له فئة ينصرونه من دون الله. No one can help him at that moment, and he already lost what he was bragged about. Um, and no one worried of this punishment. No one can stop Allah's punishment. Okay, so he feels sad for this, and he feels regretful for um for the destruction of uh of of his garden, and he also Allah enabled him to return back to him and come back to his senses. So sometimes Allah give you a test for losing something. You maybe brag about your job. So, and in a second you can lose it. Okay, you may brag about your children. You may find your children become not from the top students as usual. So this is also a lesson for us not to brag about anything because you are not the cause. Just to say, MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. Okay, nothing can be happened without Allah's will. Okay, so Allah deprive him of the causes of his rebellion and transgression. And once this is happened, he come back to his senses and realized that uh, يا ليتني لم أشرك بربي أحدا. Okay, he regretted that he ascribe or associate partners to Allah. So also bad events can be a lesson for us to learn from. Okay, so when you have a bad event, just to think, how can I learn from this? This man um, thought about this hard situation and realized the cause that his bad deed and ascription to Allah is the cause, and he regretted this. So we have to think like this man in this situation specifically, okay? Because he benefited from the destruction of uh of his garden, which was the reason for his rebellion and transgression. Okay, and this, when Allah took it away, I mean the garden that caused him to transgress and punished him in this world, this is better. Maybe he become, we don't know how he ended up his life, this man, but maybe later he become a believer. We don't know. Okay, but sometimes Allah caused you or I mean give you a hard situation to learn from and become better Muslim. Okay, so just to give thought to the situations, whether hard or good, that you pass by. Okay, would you please continue?
If Allah wills good for a person, He hesitates to punish him in this world. The grace of Allah cannot be encompassed by human minds, and no one can deny it except one who is an arrogant wrongdoer. In that case, the only protection is that of Allah, the true God. He gives that best reward and the best outcome. That is, in that case, when Allah sends His punishment upon those who transgressed and gave precedence to the life of this world. And He honors those who believed, did righteous deed, and gave thanks to Allah, and called others to do likewise. It became clear that the only protection is that of true God, uh, of that of our true God. Others to do likewise, it became, whoever believes in Him and fears Him will be protected by Allah, who will bestow all kinds of honor upon him and ward off all kinds of punishment and evil from him. But whoever does not believe in his Lord or take him as an ally and protector will be a loser in both spiritual and worldly terms. The reward of Allah in this world and the hereafter is the best reward that anyone may hope for. From this great story, we learn a number of lessons, including the following. We learn a
I'm
lesson
sorry.
from
I'm
the
sorry.
one.
I'm sorry, I turned it back. Oh, let me turn it go back. Go ahead. We learn a
We learn
lesson.
a lesson from the one on whom Allah had bestowed worldly blessings, but that distracted him from the hereafter and caused him to transgress and disobey Allah. Those blessings will ultimately vanish and disappear. And even if he enjoys them for a little while, he will be deprived of them for a long time.
Yeah, Jazakallah khairan. So here, um, the Tafsir, the scholar, is telling us if Allah wills good for a person, He hastens to punish him in this world. Okay, so some people, when they are struck with calamities or hard situations or have um, bad event, they said, "Is Allah angry with me? I didn't do something wrong. I just um, uh, perform my prayers and so on." So maybe you do something you are not uh, you didn't pay attention to. Okay, so Allah hastened to punish in this world. This is better for you than put it off in the hereafter. Okay, so even if it is a punishment, not a test, we don't know, by the way. By you have to you have to do what with when you have a hard situation. Of course, it will make dua that Allah alleviate this hard situation for you. Turn it to Allah. Think about your actions, whether you did something that make Allah angry with you or something like this. But just to know that this is better for you. Okay, to have, even if it is a punishment, alhamdulillah, it's in this world. Okay, this is better than to have this punishment in the hereafter. The grace of Allah cannot be compensated by human minds. We don't know. Okay, no one can deny it except one who is an ignorant wrongdoer. Okay, no one can know whether this punishment or this is a test, or um and no one can deny also the punishment is sent by Allah. So the honors, those who believed and did righteous deeds and give thanks to Allah, we are supposed to be from those, okay, who believe they did do righteous deed and give thanks to Allah and call others to do the same. Okay, those people will only within the protection of Allah. Okay, so whoever believes in Him and fears Him will be protected, and who will bestow all kinds of honor upon him and ward off all punishments and evil from him. Okay, so if you wanted to be saved from Allah's punishment, just be like those who believe, do righteous deed, and give thanks to Allah. Um, so if Allah take you like an ally and a friend, okay, you will be within His protection in this life and in the hereafter. So the word of Allah, either in this life or in the hereafter, is the best reward. Uh, of course, we all hope for. And um, what lesson can we learn from this? We learn a lesson from the one on whom Allah had bestowed worldly blessings, but this blessing distracted him. Don't make the blessings you have distract you from the hereafter. Don't make your children and their responsibilities distract you from the obligatory prayers. Please pray on time. Stop everything you have. Because if these blessings you have distracted you from the hereafter, and if your top students, I mean, if your children are from top students and this caused you to transgress and to brag about them, you have to worry about them. Okay? So don't to disobey Allah. Um, because you see, some people when they have all things, they feel like they don't need to worship Allah. They don't need to obey Allah's um orders or commands. Okay? So when we tell her wear hijab, why do I wear hijab? I have everything. I don't want anything more from Allah. Okay, I have a children, I have job, I have a good husband, I have a good house. So they disobey Allah's orders when they feel safe um concerning worldly gains. Okay, so we have to tell them that these blessings will vanish, will ultimately vanish and disappear. And even if you enjoy it for a little while, you will be deprived of them for a long time in the hereafter, or even in this dunya. This man lost his garden in this dunya. Everything turned upside down. So no one can have a safe side, okay? No one can be in the comfort zone or be in the safe side. Everything can be turned upside down in a second. Okay? So, would you please continue?
Yes, Ustad. If a person likes something of his wealth of or offspring, he should attribute his blessing to the one who bestowed it upon him, and he should say, MashaAllah, La quwwata illa billah. Whatever Allah wills will come to pass. There is no power but with Allah. Thus his giving thanks to Allah will be a means for the blessings of Allah to remain with him. Because the believer said to his companion, why could you not have said when you entered your garden, and whatever Allah wills will come to pass. There is no power but with Allah. A person may console himself for missing out on the pleasure and desires of this world by reminding himself of the good things that are with Allah, because the believer said, although you see me less than you in wealth and children, yet my Lord will give me something better than your garden. Wealth and children are of no benefit if they do not help one to obey Allah, as Allah says elsewhere. It is not your wealth of your children or your children that brings you nearer to us, but those who believe and do righteous deeds. It is they who will have a multiple reward for their deeds. One may pray for destruction of the wealth of one who is wealthy if it is the cause of his transgression, disbelief, and loss, especially if he thinks that because of his wealth he is superior to the believers and he boasts to them of that. The consequences of Allah's protection or the absence thereof will only become clear when the dust settles and recompenses becomes due. In that case, the only protection is that of Allah, the true God. He gives the best reward and the best outcome.
Yeah, Jazakallahu khairan. Okay, so here is the man is telling him ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك. So whenever you see your wealth, your offspring, okay, you are supposed or encouraged to say ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. This is just to remind yourself that this is all from Allah, okay, and you have to give thanks to Allah who is the source of all these blessings. So this makes you in situation of servitude, okay, not to brag about, not to give you arrogance and transgression and so on. Okay, so hopefully we adopted this phrase in our life. Okay, MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. Whenever you reach your wonderful home and beautiful house, say MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. Whenever you see your offspring, MashaAllah, among the top students or memorizing one surah or something like this, and they tell you, oh mama, I did so and so, say MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. Train them to see this phrase, just even to stop evil eye, you see, from affecting them. Mentioning the name of Allah help protecting them from evil eye and so on. So this is one thing related to MashaAllah la quwwata illa billah. Any person may console himself from missing out on the pleasures and desires of this world by reminding himself of the good things. So sometimes we tell ourselves, oh, if we have like a good house in Greece or in a good country, like with wonderful scenes and so on. So just to console yourself with that, I may not afford it to have this house in this worldly life, but may Allah give me better than this in the hereafter if I enter paradise, inshallah. So console yourself for missing out any worldly pleasures, or I mean in this world, by reminding yourself by good things that are with Allah. Okay, Allah prepared for believers in the Jannah many things you cannot imagine them. ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. So you cannot even imagine what Allah prepared for believers. So just to console yourself if you feel you are missing out some of worldly pleasures. Also, wealth and children are of no benefit if they do not help you to obey Allah. So don't be occupied with wealth and children. Um, also in another surah Allah said إن من أموالكم وأولادكم عدو لكم فاحذروهم. They are your enemy if they don't help you to obey Allah, if they distract you from obeying Allah, they're gonna be your enemy. Okay, so Allah is telling you, you have a test here, you have a problem here, you need to take care of this, you need to take care of that. Okay, don't make these things this like adornments, only adornments of this life. Okay, المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا, as we will see the ending of this story. Okay, so they are just adornments. Don't make them distract you from obeying Allah, which is the main task for you in this world. Okay. One may pray for destruction of wealth, as I told you, of one who is wealthy, if it is the cause of his transgression and disbelief. Okay, so this is permissible to pray against the one who is disbeliever. Okay? We cannot pray against any Muslim, even he is not a good Muslim. But don't pray against any Muslim. Just the same, may Allah guide you to the straight path. May Allah um, make you more reachable. Anything, God, pray for him, not against any Muslim. Okay, but it's permissible to pray against disbelievers, especially if their wealth make them um or led them to transgression. Okay, the consequences of Allah's protection or the absence will only become clear when the dust is settled and recompense becomes due. Okay, so just remember that there is a day for all these things to become like dust. Okay, everything with this in this world will perish, will diminish. Okay, so don't feel so attached to anything in this life. Okay, so uh, is this is the ending of tafsir? I'm not sure. Yeah, this is the ending of tafsir. So let's move to the next part. It's related to types of shirk. Can you remember when the man told us لكنه والله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا, and he told يا ليتني لم أشرك بربي أحدا ولم تكن له فئة ينصرونه. So what are types of shirk? I need another sister to read types of shirk. We have major shirk, okay, الشرك الأكبر, major shirk, and under major shirk we have two major actually I think they are more than two, they are three. Okay, and we have minor shirk, and we have many types under minor shirk. Okay, so Sister Iram, would you please read major shirk? Okay, Sister Jisha.
Yes, Raj.
Okay, would you please?
Major shirk. Shirk in Rububiyyah, which is lordship, and it has two types. Shirk by negation and shirk by association. Shirk by negation, which is the worst type of shirk, like the shirk of Firaun. He said, what means, what is the Lord of the worlds? Quran 26, ayat 23. It also includes denying some names or attributes of Allah. Shirk by association, which refers to the act of associating others with Allah, the Almighty, without denying any of His names or attributes and without denying His Lordship. It is like the shirk of the Christians who believe in the Trinity. The type of shirk also includes those who claim that the souls of their deceased righteous beliefs can affect the affairs of this world, fulfill needs, remove calamities, and help whoever one calls on them. Second, shirk in al-asma was sifat. The names and attributes of was sifat. Shirk in al-asma was sifat. No, shirk in al-asma was sifat. The names and attributes of Allah, and it has two types. Shirk of mushabihah, those who liken Allah to His creation. Mushabahat.
Those who liken Allah.
Those who liken Allah to His creation, such as when a person says that the hand of Allah is like this, like His. The hand of Allah is like His, or that the hearing of Allah is like His, or that His istiwa, which is rising, is like His. The other type is when false gods are given names derived from the names of Allah.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan. So can you remember when we said توحيد الألوهية, توحيد الربوبية, توحيد الأسماء والصفات, the kinds of توحيد, monotheism. So here the shirk also, you may have, I mean, people may fall into the shirk in rububiyyah, the shirk related to lordship. Okay, this can happen by two things: negation, like when Fir'aun said, وَمَا رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. So he is negating that Allah is Lord of worlds. Although Allah said in the Quran, رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ, we said Alhamdulillah رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Okay, so he is negating one of Allah's names and attributes. So this is negation, shirk by negation. Okay, and this is the worst thing of course. Next one is shirk by association, which the Christians fall in. They claim that Jesus is the Son of God, or they believe in Trinity. So this is another kind of shirk related to association. So this is related to rububiyyah, lordship. Okay. Another kind of shirk related to asma wa sifat, the names and attributes of Allah, like shirk of mushabaha. You see, Allah told us that Allah has a hand, Allah has hearing, but we as Muslims, we as believers believe that Allah's hand is not like ours. Allah's hearing is not like ours. Allah is rising upon the arsh is not like our rising. Okay? We don't know how the kayfiyya, we don't know how Allah's hand look like. We don't know how Allah is rising, but we believe in it because Allah told us about it. Okay? So we believe it without mushabaha, without likening it to the creation. Okay? Because Allah is unique in His names and attributes. So this is related to aqidah, related to faith. We have to believe in it. The other type is when false gods are given names derived from the names of Allah. So this is also a kind of shirk. Okay. There is also another kind of shirk related to worship. Okay, and it has three subcategories. Okay, would you please continue, Sister Jisha?
Yes. Shirk in worship. And it has three subcategories. Shirk in the rites of sacrifice and rituals, like when one offers his supplication, vows, and sacrifices to anyone other than Allah, the Almighty, and when he appeals to others for help. Whoever takes an intermediary between himself and Allah, the Almighty, and directs his supplication to his intermediary and asks him to intercede on his behalf is to be identified as a disbeliever. Shirk in submission. When one submits to the ruling that are stipulated by those who are not authorized by Allah, the Almighty, the state, the lawful, and the unlawful. Shirk of love for Allah. The Almighty says, what means? And yet among the people are those who take other than Allah as equals to Him. They love them as they should love Allah. But those who believe are stronger in love for Allah.
Yeah, Jazakallahu khairan. Okay. So the third type of shirk here, major shirk, is shirk in ibadah, in worship. Okay, and the first subcategory here, the shirk in the rites of sacrifice and rituals. You see, kuffar Quraysh, disbelievers of Quraysh, they used to sacrifice goats and cows and so on for the idols. Okay, so this is a shirk in worship because we sacrifice only for Allah. We do rituals, prayers, and so on for the sake of Allah alone. Even those, some people, al-halif, you see, and to swear with the life of people, this is not permitted. This is haram to swear by the life of the Prophet, by the life of people. This is not permissible. Even to make dua, to asking someone else to make dua for you. You see, some people go to the graves of Al-Hussein, the the grandchildren of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is Al-Hussein. Okay, so some people go to his grave and ask him to make dua to Allah, or to cure him or something like this. This is also haram. Okay, some people go to the grave of the Prophet in Medina and ask him, "Oh Prophet, cure me or make me free of this illness." This is also not permissible. Okay, because you are offering your supplication to someone other than Allah, even if it is a prophet. Okay, your supplications should be given only and offered only to Allah. Okay, and he is died even. Okay, so he can't even pray for you. Um, so as I told you, supplication, vows, and sacrifices are offered only to Allah, and we are not supposed to make an intermediary between Allah and us. Okay, so we should direct our supplication directly to Allah. Okay, not ask someone to intercede on your behalf. You don't need so. Shirk in submission. Okay, when one submit to the rulings of a ruler for someone who is going against the rule of Allah, this is also a kind of shirk in submission. Okay, so you are just need to follow what Allah state as lawful and what Allah state as unlawful. But what people stated shouldn't be, you shouldn't, um, take into your consideration. Shirk of love for Allah. You see, some people love their children, love their spouse more than Allah. Muslims are not supposed to do so. Okay? وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. So believers are stronger in love for Allah. So this is how we should be. So, Sister, would you please move to the minor shirk? Iram or Arum, anyone? No one is ready? Okay, I may ask Sister Jisha to continue.
Yes, Sushi. Minor shirk. It refers to everything that has been prohibited in Sharia because it may lead to major shirk.
Sharia, in
Or
Sharia.
anything that is prohibited in Sharia because it may lead to major shirk. First, swearing by something or someone other than Allah the Almighty. 2. Riya, ostentation.
Ostination, yeah.
Ostination. When one pretends to be pious for the sake of winning people's appreciation or raises his voice while reciting the Quran in order to be heard and praised. However, if someone originally and totally performs the acts of worship only to show off, meaning he prays, fasts, remembers Allah, the Almighty, remembers Allah the Almighty and recites the Quran solely to impress others and win their praise, then he is committing major shirk. Number 3, to adorn something that is believed to be a form of protection from misfortune. Number 4, to practice, involve, or believe in any form of shirk, sorcery, including charms, incantations, astrology, etc. To believe in fortune telling. To believe in even evil omens, not to be content with Allah's decree, and to make dua against yourself to say, if I did so. If I did so, then this would not have happened. Rather say, قدر الله وما شاء.
قدر الله وما شاء فعل. وما شاء فعل. Okay, Jazakallahu khairan. So here is some examples of minor shirk. Okay, we already mentioned or talked about major shirk. So here we are referring to minor shirk. So Number one is waiting by something or someone other than Allah. Number two, the Riya means to do things, acts of worship, to get people's praise. Okay, I may perform salah, recite Quran just to track, attract the attention of people and get their praise and so on. But for the person who is doing everything for the sake of people, he is committing major shirk. Okay, he becomes no longer Muslim. Okay, so this is the difference between major shirk and minor shirk. Major shirk means that he becomes no longer Muslim. But for minor shirk, he can make tawbah and istighfar, and inshallah, Allah will forgive him. Okay, so um, we need to purify ourselves from any riya. If you are attending the Quran classes just to tell people I'm attending tafsir classes and so on, this is a kind of riya. We have to take care of this. Okay. To adorn something that is believed to be a form of protection from misfortune. You see, some people put mushaf in their cars as a kind of protection, but they don't read it. Okay, so you are not supposed to do things like this. Okay, you need to read from it. Okay, put it in your car just to read on it in your free time, but don't put on it just as a kind of protection from misfortune because this is not gonna help you. To practice or involve or believe in sihr. You see, people go to magician, people's to do magics for them, to do charms for them. So if you go there, you are disbelieving. Um, you become disbeliever if you just go there, but if you just listen to him and you don't trust or I mean just go there for the sake of curiosity, just to know this is Allah will not accept your prayer for 40 days. Okay. So you are not supposed to go to people of sihr, of sorcery and so on. Also to believe in fortune telling. Okay, some people tell you about the future. People related to they tell you that we have planets and they are moving with certain system, and I can tell you what is your fortune today and so on. This is also a kind of shirk. Don't listen to those people who are claiming that they can tell you your fortune today. Also to believe in evil omens. Some people, when they saw something black or certain animals, okay, they have like evil omen. They tell you today will not be a good day. So this is also a kind of shirk. We are not supposed to believe in things like this. Also, not to be content with Allah's decrees. People um are not content with when they have a hard time or a calamity. They tell you, if I have done something, this would not happen. Okay, so if لو تفتح عمل الشيطان, okay, don't just say if I did so, this wouldn't happen. Just to say قدر الله وما شاء فعل. Okay, I mean, for example, if you have an accident with your car, so some people say if I didn't go from this street, this accident wouldn't happen. Okay, who knows? Okay, just to say قدر الله ما شاء فعل and deal with the situation. Okay, so I need another sister to read what have we known about Allah from the verses we studied today. Who would like to read? Sister Dufaida, would you please start?
Yes, Ustada. Don't see the A screen. Didn't appear
You
yet.
cannot see the screen?
Yeah, I see, but it's still showing
Okay.
minor shriek.
Okay, let me reshare it.
So about the shriek, you said the intuition, like sometimes we think it will be happen, but it doesn't happen. So that is also minor shriek or major?
Sorry, could you say your question again?
Like intuition, like I think it's gonna be happen, but sometimes people like, oh, I thought this will be happen, and that happens too. That does it
No,
fall to the major or minor?
intuition, no, intuition like predicting things is not related to shirk. We are talking about fortune telling, like those people who are specialized in this, okay, and
Yeah,
telling
but
you will be
Ustada, I was
unfortunate
asking.
today.
Okay, yeah, that I got. But like sometimes prediction, that I was asking.
Yeah,
Like,
prediction, yeah.
yeah, so prediction is not shriek.
No, no. I think when I predict something, but prediction based on what also? Based on evil omens or based on what? So
Oh,
it depends, okay? Some
okay.
people predict something related to evil omens, okay? See,
Oh,
غراب today, yeah, or certain animals, so I don't think today would be good day. But prediction as usual, if I say, I think the weather will be good today, this is something not related to the the shirk because I just have like proofs. I feel the sun is rising and so on. So I'm predicting based on these proofs I see around it. Um, so this is not a kind of shirk, inshallah. Okay, would you please yeah continue here? Mm-hmm.
what what have I
Sister
known
Iram,
about?
okay, before we start, okay, before you start, let me just ask Sister Iram if she has a question here related
No,
to
no.
this part.
Actually, I thought no one is going to read, so I just raised the hand.
Oh,
It's okay.
let her. Yeah,
Okay,
Sister Aram, please read. I
Okay.
already did.
You sure?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Okay. Okay. What have I know? What I have known about Allah Almighty. Allah means the worshipped, beloved, and the exalted. Rabb mainly has four meanings: the creator, the owner, the sustainer of his creatures' affair, the commander. He is the one who creates, he is the one who created us and granted us provision, who controls us and cares for us, is the creator of the heavens and the earth, the only one who could create these mighty creations. Al Khaliq, the creator, is the one who brings everything from non existence to existence. He is the one who creates things from nothing with no precedence. Precedents. He creates what he pleases and in perfect manner. He is the only one who determines when, how, and what to create and does so from nothing. Al Khaliq, the creator, he who produces something from nothing, he plans and creates. Secondly, he is Al Bari, the producer, the one who initiates and brings into the existence. Lastly, he is Al Musawwir, he organizes and shapes the arrangement of the creation. Al Musawwir, the fashioner, he is the one who brings into the existence whatever he wills and in whatever manner he wills it. He says, Kun fayakun, be and it is. He is the fashioner of the every creation and has given it a special form whereby it is distinguished. Al-Wahhab, the supreme bestower, is the one who is abundantly generous in giving without ever needing to calculate. Allah is Al-Wahhab, which means the great giver whose blessings are freely and perpetually given. He gives with no purpose and expects nothing in return. Allah is the truly the most liberal giver. He gives to the to the deserving and underserving, to the good and the evil.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jazakallah khairan. So here we are learning some attributes and names related to Allah. So we know that Allah is the proper name of Allah. So we mentioned before, it means worshipped, al-ma'bud. All people worship Allah, and the beloved, al-mahbub. All people love Allah, and the exalted means minds are dazzled with his his creatures. Okay. Um, so also Allah is Al-Rabb, which has four major meanings: the creator, the owner, the sustainers of his creatures, affairs, and the commander. Okay, so we are supposed to fulfill his commands. As long as he created you, you are supposed to fulfill his commands. Okay, that is why the man told him, أَكَفَرْتَ بِالَّذِي خَلَقَكَ, the one who created you and sustain all your affairs. So how can you make kufr? How can you go against his commands? Okay, so الذي خلقك. So Allah is Al-Khaliq, He is the creator, okay, who brings everything from non-existence to existence. Can you remember when He told him, خلقك من تراب? So you were nothing in a certain point of time, and Allah brings you to life from nowhere. He creates what He pleases in a perfect manner. Okay, He's the only who determine when, how, and what to create. Okay, so what is the difference between Al-Khaliq, Al-Bari, Al-Musawwir? So here Al-Bari is a producer who initiates and brings into existence, and Al-Musawwir is the one who brings into existence whatever he wills in whatever manners. So Imam al-Ghazali compares these three names to the process of constructing a house. Okay, you have the planner and the builder and the designer, right? So similarly, Allah takes on the three roles: the creator, the producer, and the fashioner. Okay, the creator, the producer, and the fashioner. Um, So this is like building the house, creating a planner. We have planner, builder, and designer. So Allah also Al-Wahhab, Al-Wahhab, He gave the man abundantly, okay, blessings, abundant blessings, without ever needing to calculate, okay? Allah doesn't want anything in return. Okay, so which means is that the great giver whose blessings are freely and perpetually given. So if you are asking Allah for something, ask for Allah, ask in the name of Allah Al-Wahhab. Ask Allah Al-Wahhab to give you. Because if He give you wealth, if He give you children, He will give you abundantly without expecting something in return. So Allah is the most liberal giver. He gives it to deserving and undeserving. So even if you don't deserve to be given, Allah will give you because He is Al-Wahhab. Okay, so He gives to the good and evil. Some people connect the Allah's giving to the pleasure of Allah. Okay, it doesn't matter. This is not a criterion. Okay, إن الله يعطي الدنيا لمن يحب ولمن لا يحب. Allah gives this life, gives this wealth to whom He loves and whom He doesn't love. Okay, to who He loves and to who He doesn't love. Um, وَلَا يُعْطِي الْإِيمَانَ إِلَّا لِمَنْ يُحِبُّ. Allah doesn't give faith. He only give faith to those people who love. Okay? If he love you, he give you faith. If he doesn't love you, he will not give you faith. Okay? But as for the wealth, he give to all people, whether they love him or sorry, whether he loves him, those people, or he doesn't love them. Okay? He gives it to deserving and undeserving, gives the wealth to good and evil. Okay? Because he is Al-Wahhab. He is Al-Wahhab. Would you please continue? Sister Inam.
Sorry, my mic was off and I was
Wait.
reading. Al-Hafid, the lower, the one who lowers whosoever he willed by his destruction, and Ar-Rafi, the one who raises whoever he willed by his endowment. Ar-Rafia, the exalter, he is the one who lowers whoever he wills and raises whoever he wills. The one who chooses who will be raised in the rank in every way. Al-Muntaqsim, the
Al-Muntaqim.
Al-Muntaqim, Al-Muntaqim, the avenger, the one who victoriously prevails over his enemies and punishes them for their sins. Allah is the most patient, but the time will come when justice must be given. Avoid things which Allah has forbidden, for for he is swift and just with his punishment, and does not trespassing go unaccounted for. This will remain those in power that they are still accountable to Allah. Al-Haq, the absolute truth, the one who is the embodiment of the truth, the absolute, since he is the soul and the true God. He has every right to be worshipped. Al-Manan, the bestower of favors, is the
Al-Mun'im. Sorry?
Al-Manan,
The best Al-Mannan. Al-Mannan.
Al-Manan,
The last one is
Al-Manan, Al-Manan.
no, Al-Mannan. Noon is doubled. The first noon is doubled. I'm sorry for not putting
Okay,
the dark text
okay,
here.
Shadon, no, right? Okay, Al-Manan,
Yes.
the bestower of the favors, is the one who bestows great favors and gives blessing to his servants before they ask for them.
Yeah, Jazakallahu khairan. So here, Allah is Al-Hafid Al-Rafi'. Okay, this is like he is the loader and the exalter. He can deprive anyone from the blessings he has given him in a second, and he can give to a poor man and make him a wealth or a rich man in a second. So he is the one who lowers whoever he will by his distraction, and at the same time he rises or he raises whoever he will by his endowment. Okay, so he can raise in rank in everywhere, and he can also lowers the rank of people in a second. So don't feel safe, okay? Don't feel this is like a permanent, or as long as life is stable right now, it will be like this forever. No, you can't guarantee, okay? So ask Allah not to change matters to what is worse. He is Al-Muntaqim, the one who victoriously prevails over his enemies and punishes them for their sins. Okay, so think about the man with two gardens um, who rejected Allah and showed ingratitude to him. Allah punished him. Okay, but the time will come when justice must be given. Okay, maybe give him time in this dunya and put off his punishment till the hereafter, and may hasten. Can you remember when we said Allah may hasten his punishment in this dunya, which is better, in order to come back to your sense and feel regret and 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 divert your track to the right path. Okay? So avoid things which Allah has forbidden, for He is swift and just with His punishment. Okay? Um, Also, Allah is Al-Haq. Al-Haq means He is the absolute truth. So Allah will not wrong do anyone. Okay? He is the embodiment of truth, and He is the soul and the true God. He has given everyone his right. Okay? He's Al-Mannan, also the bestower of favors. This is somehow linked Al-Wahhab, but um, Al-Mannan is the one who bestows great favors and gives the blessings to his servant before they ask for them. Okay, so he give you even before you ask for it. Allah deal with in this way with his true servants. Okay. Allah said related to the Prophet قد نرى تقلب وجهك في السماء فلنولينك قبلة ترضاها. So Allah just found the Prophet ﷺ wanted to make to direct his to make his qibla during the salah towards al-Masjid al-Haram. First it was towards the Masjid al-Aqsa, and the Prophet was would prefer actually to direct his face to al-Masjid al-Haram. He didn't ask Allah to do this, but Allah granted him before asking for this. Okay, so he is Al-Mannan. He give you before even you ask for it. So here the to-do list. What should we do after understanding the meaning of this surah? I just wanted to give you like overview, brief overview of what we have done today before reading this to-do list. So as we said, this man, the believer, was silent when he was insulted by the man with two gardens and told him, I am better than you, أنا خير منك مالا وأعز نفرا, and he was bragging about his wealth and so on. He was silent. But when he began to insult Allah and said, وما أظن الساعة قائمة, he can't stand that. Right? So when Allah is mocked and when the day of judgment is denied, that is the moment when he started opening his mouth and give him a full speech. So because of that man, um, uh, this man, I mean, the believer give him like a piece of advice, okay, telling him أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب. He just wanted him to come to his sense and to humble this man down back to earth. Okay, he told him, you were nothing, you were created from dust, you come from like seven fluids, you were nothing. Okay, and Allah gave you everything. Don't think that you need to be thankful for Allah instead of being proud. So his arrogance is the real cause for his destruction. Okay, we need to take care of this, and we need to know this. His arrogance. So whatever you want, as for me, the man told him, the believer told him what? Told him, لكنه الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا. Do whatever you want, but Allah is my Lord, and I will not associate any partner with my Lord. So some might ask, we didn't hear of bygones or no idols. You see, this man, he's not telling us that he were worshiping idols or something like this, but he was believing that himself is the cause for what he have. So this is a kind of shirk. If you believe that what you have is because of your certificates, because of your degrees, because of your knowledge, because of your qualifications, this is a kind of shirk, okay? So by attributing this garden to him, he make himself as an idol beside Allah, okay? So he said أنا أكثر منك. So uh, he didn't tell even Allah give me this, okay? He just associating himself and make himself as the cause of what he have. So um maybe he believed that his efforts is what made this fruit, okay? So he's rejecting Allah as a source of all blessings he have. So when he entered his Jannah, the man showed him that he should have said and he should done the opposite. ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. When you enter your garden, you should be in a status of humbleness and humility. Okay? And how to reach this status? By saying ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. Okay? So this is the key here. You should thank Allah and ascribe these blessings to Allah, and instead of saying أنا, okay, like what he said, أنا خير منك. No. Whenever you come to your car, say ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. Okay? That is why if you reflect on the dua of ركوب الدابة, of riding a car or something like this, anyone knows what is the dua? سبحان الذي
سبحان الذي سخر لنا هذا وما كنا له مقرنين وإنا
كنا
إلى
له مقرنين وإنا إلى ربنا لمنقلبون. يا جزاك الله خيرا. So سبحان الذي سخر لنا هذا. Allah makes this vehicle subject to us to drive me to my destination. Okay, so سخر لنا هذا. We are praising Allah for make this for us. Okay, so this is somehow like ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. Okay, which means that Allah blessed me with this. There is no power except the power of Allah. Okay, Allah power, Allah's all power is Allah's and Allah's alone. Okay, so even when we go to sleep, what should we say? Anyone knows? When we go to sleep, بسمك ربي وضعت جنبي. بسمك. So by your name, I put my side. Okay. So even when we eat, what is the dua before eating?
We say Bismillah.
Alhamdulillah.
والله
Yeah,
الذي
Bismillah
أطعمنا
before eating. Yeah, after finishing, الحمد لله الذي أطعمني وسقاني ورزقني من غير لا حول مني ولا قوة. So he give me the provision, he give me the food, he give me the drink, everything. I can do nothing. Okay. So so he is telling him, you should have said ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله, and instead of saying أنا, I don't have the power to get this garden. Okay, you should have said I don't have ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله means that I don't have the power to get this garden. This is not my wealth. This is not my effort. This is not my endeavors. It's all Allah's blessings. Okay, so this is how we should deal with the blessings we have. So, could any sister read what should we do after understanding um, the verses we recited today? Who would like to start? Sister Rufaidah, please go ahead.
Sorry, Sada, what should I say?
Yeah, this list. What should we do after understanding?
Oh, what should I do? Like we should thank Allah, any kind of blessing He bestowed
Day and
us.
night.
Yeah, day and night, and then we believe in Allah in our heart, and we always say it through our tongue and through our worship, any kind of action, and then we do righteous deeds towards anybody, and also we believe in akhirah, in resurrection, and then we can do the dawah, um,
Yeah,
and to non-Muslim, even Muslims, born Muslim, who doesn't do worships and other states which Allah order us to do, obey. And then we truly we should say all the time that any blessing Allah bestows us, it's nothing is in our like it's not for because he loves us or he doesn't love us, doesn't matter. He can give us children, he can give us lots of wealth, but we should not brag out of it. Then he can destroy any time he wills. So we always say mashallah and quwwata illa billah, and we always be we should be
yeah, in a status of servitude and humility to Allah.
yes, and we so always remind us that nothing is in our power. All everything is solely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah, continue.
To actual so should I just read it? To
Yeah,
Okay, to actualize pillars of faith, which are to actualize the oneness of lordship and divinity, to increase my knowledge about Allah, not to boast about my wealth and children, not to compete for worldly gains, as what with Allah is better and more lasting, to hope in Allah's kindness and goodness, not to use Allah's blessing upon me for transgression, to declare that I have no
to
power and turn
declare.
declare yeah declare to declare that I have no power and turn to Allah to take care of me, to say mashallah la quwwata illa billah whenever I admire to the blessing I have, to console myself for missing out on the pleasures and desires of this world by reminding myself of the good things that are with Allah, to pray for the destruction of disbelievers, to be reminded when Allah sends someone to remind me, and not to be stubborn until Allah punishes me, to repent to Allah from any ascription of partners to Allah, and my evil deeds to be contained with the decrees of Allah.
Yeah, Jazakallahu khairan. So I just wanted to comment on something here to actualize pillars of faith, which are, we have 7 pillars of faith. Al-Iman billahi wa malaikatihi. Malaik, means angels. Wa
وكتبه
rusulihi.
وَرُسُولِهِ
Yeah, wa kutubihi wa rusulihi. So his books, his messengers. وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, the hereafter. And al-qadr, the decrees, whatever good or bad.
and
Okay, so we
بالغيب
need to, sorry?
بالغيب on unseen. Oh no, that is not a pillar,
Um,
but that is just
yeah, the
faith is
qadr,
not pillar.
it's
yeah,
same to qadr, right, Ustada?
sorry?
I mean,
Qadr,
Yeah,
sister.
Al-Qadr is part of the unseen, of course, because I don't know the reason behind it or the rationale behind it. So it's a part of the unseen. Unseen also related to the hereafter because we don't see the hereafter yet, right? So this is also related to the unseen. Even the messengers, the previous messengers, also related to the unseen because we haven't seen them, right? So the unseen is like a comprehensive words that include many pillars below. So what I wanted to emphasize here is the pillar related to the hereafter, because this man has a problem related to resurrection. Okay, so we need, of course, we believe in the resurrection, but sometimes we forgot about it. We didn't prepare for it. Okay, we just feel so indulgent in this life, and um, we don't prepare ourselves for that day. Um, we will see even next class, inshallah, how the book will contain everything. وقالوا ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها. This book doesn't leave anything, whether minor or major. Okay, so we need to think about our actions or think about our talks, because sometimes we fall into backbiting and gossips and so on, and everything is written down against us, and we don't know. We don't pay attention to this. So I don't want to feel shocked by the end in the hereafter. We need to uh, rethink and reflect upon our actions from now, okay, before holding accountable for things that we didn't pay attention to. Okay, so um so of course, number one, to thank Allah. And thanking Allah is not only by tongue, okay, it also by actions. So how can I thank Allah by actions? Let's take an example for Quran classes that offered for us. How can we thank Allah by actions? So we say Alhamdulillah that Allah grant us internet and grant us teacher to teach us the deen and so on. We say Alhamdulillah, of course, but how can I take an action? To share the knowledge. This is an action. To act upon the knowledge I gain. Okay, this is how to thank Allah by action for something like this. To invite people to attend to these classes and benefit like us. Okay, this is how to thank Allah by actions for the blessings we have. How to thank Allah by actions for our health. We can use it in voluntary works to to put all your efforts and knowledge and wealth in the service of this deen. This is how to be thankful for Allah for this blessings, the blessing of Islam, which is the most important blessing and the greatest blessings we have. So how can be thankful for this? To put all my possessions and all my belongings in the service of this deen. Also, to do righteous deeds, of course, and to believe in the resurrection. We all believe in the resurrection, but we have to prepare for it. To call others to believe in Allah. We should make da'wah like this man. You see, people of the cave couldn't make da'wah because they were in the hands of tyrant king. Okay, but if I feel that the one before me can listen to me and have a dialogue, like this man, وقال له صاحبه وهو يحاوره. So he has like a dialogue with him, so we can make da'wah. So we may use the situation to make da'wah, um, like this man, okay, and call others to believe in Allah and be thankful for Allah and so on. We also need um to increase my knowledge about Allah, because if I increase my knowledge about Allah, all my perspective to this life will be totally different. I will see the reality of this life. Okay, so this is how the Surat Al-Kahf can shape your mind. Okay, we will see next class, inshallah, how this life is, the reality of life. Okay, and all these things, المال والبنون زينة, just like adornments. You don't need to be so focused on them like that. Okay, everything will perish. Okay, so also not to compete for worldly gains. Okay, in matters related to the hereafter, you should compete one another. like memorizing Surat Al-Kahf, which is the most important, like attending dissertation correction classes. Okay, compete with each other and remind each other. If you feel your sister uh, is missed today or absent today, you may ask why you are not here today. I missed you. The teacher was asking about you, and so on. So ask for one another because we wanted a good companionship. واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم. We wanted to actualize this concept, and we also need to compete with one another. Okay, we need to compete with one another in memorization. So I feel Sister Dufaidah, mashallah, has memorized like the first 20, and I'm just in the first 10. So I need to compete with her next time to to be more than her in memorization. So we need to compete with one another in matters related to the hereafter. Okay, so but matters related to worldly gains, no worries about it. Don't be so focused because everything will perish. This life is temporary. Okay, so no need. Um, and also to hope in Allah's goodness and kindness, and not to use Allah's blessings upon me for transgressions. Okay, if I'm using the knowledge I have just to show off, if I use my card just to show off and to brag about my children who were in top schools and so on. This is like I'm using Allah's blessings for transgression, and Allah may deprive me from all these blessings. I also need to declare that I have no power. Okay, declare it and remind yourself of this, because if you said, I do this, I can do this, Allah will leave you to yourself. Okay, so actually we don't know how to do things. Okay, Allah taught us in first place how to do things and gave us power and gave us everything and facilitated everything for us to do things. So actually we have no power. Okay, ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. No power but except from Allah. So this is what we are advised if we see things that we admired about ourselves. What if we see things that we admired but in possession of people? I mean, they are not mine. They are not, they are belonging to people. What should we say? ما شاء الله. Okay, Allahumma barik. Okay. Um, we are just invoking Allah's barakah upon him. Okay. Or tabarak Allah or something like this. Um, Also to be reminded when Allah sends someone to remind me. Okay, if someone is advising you, receive this person as a message sent to you by Allah. Don't be stubborn and say, you are lower than me, how can you advise me? And so on. Even if his speech was somehow aggressive, some people don't have the ability to deliver their speech beautifully. So just to take the core message, okay, and think about it. If he is right in his advice, okay, take the message and say thank you and act upon this message, okay. And also to repent to Allah from ascription of partners to Allah and my evil deeds, and also to be content with the decrees of Allah. What if I have a disaster, or I has a calamity like this man, or a destruction of something of my belonging, like my car or something like this? As we said, it could be a punishment, it could be a test, whatever it is, I should be content with the decrees of Allah. I just need to think whether it's a punishment, what should I have done wrong. Like this man, he realized that he ascribed partners to Allah and did evil deeds. So he said, this is a punishment for me. I have done so and so. Okay? But in all cases, I need to be content with the decrees of Allah, whether good or bad. Because even what I think this is a good bad, it could be good in terms that it remind me of Allah and made me back to my senses and realized my mistakes and sins so that I could make tawbah and repentance and don't be punished for this mistake in the hereafter. So it can you remember the hadith عجبا لأمر المؤمن إن أمره كله له خير. So all the priests are good for believers. Okay. Okay, so I'd like another sister to read the Tadabbur part. And please read what is in blue and then what is in yellow. Who would like to read?
Should I start?
Go ahead.
Okay. Give thought to the current stance. Do I achieve the 5 pillars of the faith? Do I take Allah as my ally and protector? So, do I boast about the worthy blessings I have?
Just
Do
to go
I
back, go to the just to go to the consequences of what you have read in blue. So give thought to the future outcome. What will I gain? What will I lose? Read what is in blue first.
do I achieve the 5 pillars of faith?
Yeah. Do I take Allah as my ally and a protector? So what will I gain and what will I lose? Allah will increase me. Hmm?
Uh,
You
Allah
got
will
my point?
increase me.
Yeah.
Right. Allah will increase me in guidance and give me firmness on the truth, patience, and the steadfastness and the reassurance.
Reassurance. Yeah.
He will preserve my faith and wealth.
Yeah.
My,
So what would I lose? What will I lose?
my faith will be shaky and I will be unprotected and unsupported.
Spotted. Yeah. So Hades, we said we need to actualize the 5 pillars of faith. And if I do so, Allah will increase me in guidance, give me firmness on truth, patience, and steadfastness, and will be steadfast on the right path. Okay, this is what I gain. Allah will preserve my faith. Okay, if I take Allah as my ally and protector, Allah will preserve my faith and wealth because Allah will not let down His allies. So what will I lose if I don't actualize the pillars of faith related to resurrection, related to al-iman bil-qadar khayrihi wa sharrihi decrease? So my faith will be shaky and I will be unprotected because Allah will not be pleased with me. So let's go to the one in yellow.
Do I
Ask the
boast?
question.
Do I boast about the worldly blessings I have? Do I use Allah's blessings to transgress and disobey? Do I give thanks to Allah for the blessings? Do blessings distract me from the hereafter?
So what will I gain?
I will gain. If I do this, Allah will increase me in the guidance and give me firmness on the truth,
No,
patience, and the.
right, read in what is yellow also. This is the consequences of what is yellow. Allah will make these blessings remain. Yeah.
Okay. Allah will remain, these blessings remain and increase them. And for the
Mm-hmm.
second yellow, the do
What will
like
I
question,
lose?
yeah, what I do, Allah will make these blessings vanish and deprive me of these blessings in the hereafter.
Yeah, if I don't feel grateful for Allah for these blessings, Allah will make it vanish. Allah will deprive me in a second of these blessings. Okay, in this dunya and in the hereafter. Okay, but if I show grateful ness to Allah and show gratitude to Allah, Allah will make these blessings remain and increase them. وَلَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you give thanks to Allah, Allah will increase you in blessings. Okay, so let's move to, and of course I need to make dua because I need to اللهم إني أعوذ بك من زوال نعمتك وتحول عافيتك. The Prophet used to say this dua. He is seeking Allah's refuge from from vanishing his blessings. Okay, وتحول عافيتك, and turning his عافية, his um, stable matters. Al-afiyah is stable matters and good matters to be turned upside down. He is seeking Allah's refuge from this. So we are seeking Allah, make dua every now and then from um from for giving us the for thanking him for these blessings in first place and asking him not to deprive us from these blessings. Okay. Okay, so let's move to the Tazkiyah plan. As we usually say, Tazkiyah plan is about two parts, cleanliness and development. So we need to purify ourselves from some shortcomings, and we need to develop and cultivate or adopt new qualities. So I need another sister to read. Sister Fatima, would you please read this plan?
Tazkiyah, purification plan, at-tatahir, the cleanliness. To stop depending on my power in getting things done. To stop believing that worldly wealth is gained by my own strength. To stop ungratefulness to Allah and people who help me. To stop believing that little wealth and few children is a sign for Allah's unpleasure with me. Allah's unpleasure with me. Then
Yeah.
number 2, at-tatweer, at-tatweer,
التطوير
at-tatweer, development. To write down Allah's blessing upon me, created me from nothing, gave me provision, showered me with blessings, and caused me to develop and grow physically and mentally. Worldly wealth.
Mhm.
To have complete faith by doing obligatory and recommended actions. To write down Allah's blessing upon me. Example, bringing me into existence and providing for me. Continuing to shower me with His blessings and causing me to develop
Mm.
and grow.
Yeah, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Okay, thank you. Jazakallahu khairan. So here, in At-Tathir, we need to purify ourselves from some shortcomings we may do unconsciously. Like sometimes we depend on our power in getting things done. We say, I will do this project, I will clean my house. So I will even cooking, even simple things that I can do. I can't depend on my power because everything may turn upside down. What I usually do, I may not find even the health to do it, the ability to do it. So ولا تقولن لشيء إني فاعل ذلك غدا إلا أن يشاء الله. Again, don't say I can do this tomorrow unless you say إلا أن يشاء Allah, if Allah wills. So just remember of this, you have to know that you have limited capabilities. You can do anything without the help of Allah. So you need to remember this. Also, to stop believing that worldly wealth is gained by your own strength and power. Okay, so don't feel that you are restricted because you don't have a villa or something like this, because actually you are just doing your job or doing some pursuits, but it's all about Allah, Al-Razzaq, Al-Wahhab, who can give people this amount of wealth and give me people less amount of wealth, so it's not in your hands. Okay, so don't feel that you are lagging behind. Um, and just you console yourself by saying that everything will perish. Okay, this is a temporary life, so I don't need to compete with one another in gaining wealth and so on, and forget about al-akhirah, which is more lasting. Okay, so I need to focus on what is more important and what is lasting. To stop ungratefulness to Allah and people who help me, I need to show gratitude to Allah and say also to people who help me, Jazakumullahu khairan, and so on. This is like a kind of shukr, of showing gratitude. Um, some sayings said, "من لا يشكر الناس لا يشكر الله." So who don't give people thanks, who's also not thanking Allah. So um okay, so we just need to be grateful to Allah who did do us. And even if we say thank you to people, I just wanted you to feel deeply inside that this good this person has given you is not from him originally. Allah who made this person give you or made for you this favor. Okay, so you need also to be thankful for Allah for uh make this person help you, because you may call someone to help you and he say, I wish I could but I couldn't. Okay, so this is the result of depending on people. Okay, so I need to depend on Allah first and ask Allah to facilitate people for me and help me with people to make these things done, to teach me something. Okay, and Allah will make people subject to you or in your service. Okay, in your disposal. So this is how I need to deal with ungratefulness. And also I need to stop believing that little wealth and few children is a sign for Allah's unpleasure with me. Okay, some people say this man has, mashallah, very beautiful car, and I don't have even a small car. So is Allah displeased with me? No, this is not the criterion. Okay, so as we said, Allah يعطي الدنيا لمن يحب ولمن لا يحب. Allah give wealth and all the blessings of this life to all people, believers and disbelievers, but He only give faith. So if you are blessed with faith, if you are blessed with loving Quran classes and having yourself able to memorize the Quran and so on, know that Allah is pleased with you. This is the criteria. Okay. Um, for development, I need to. Sometimes we are showered with blessings, but a shaitan is remind us of what we are missing. He doesn't remind us of what we have in hands. Okay, so we need to write them down and thank Allah for them. And even after each prayer, we are encouraged to say Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wallahu akbar, at least 10 for each one. So this is how we should cultivate the idea of thanking Allah. We need to thank Allah day and night. And also, I need to have a complete faith. You see, we have um, two levels of faith. I have basic faith and have complete faith. Basic faith is to al-iman billah wal yawm al-akhir, okay, and so on. But how could I have complete faith? Not just doing the obligatory prayers, but doing the recommended one as Sunan al-Rawatib. Not just doing obligatory actions, but also doing the recommended ones, like voluntary works and so on. So this is how to have complete faith and to be among the elite believers. Okay, to be among allies of Allah. So the third one is like repeating the first one. So do you have any question? I have none, alhamdulillah. Next time, inshallah, we will have the ending fact of these verses, which is the saving boat of the fitna related to wealth, which will tell us the reality of this life that we should pay attention to. So, do you have any question right now? Any question?
No, Sada, not regarding this.
Okay. Okay. So I just wanted to relate Surah Al-Kahf with Ad-Dajjal, which we emphasized by the beginning of this course, and we said that Surah Al-Kahf, if you memorized it, it will protect you from Ad-Dajjal, and the Prophet encouraged us to at least memorize the first 10 verses, and if you face Ad-Dajjal, the rest is sight. The first 10 verses, okay, just to protect yourself from fitna. So Ad-Dajjal is working on the fourth fitna that Surah Al-Kahf is addressing. That is why this Surah Al-Kahf is protecting us from the fitna of Ad-Dajjal. So Ad-Dajjal asks people to worship him other than Allah. Okay, so this is fitna related to religion. Okay. And we said, what is the saving boat of this fitna? الصحبة الصالحة, good companionship, and what? واتل ما أوحي إليك من كتاب ربك. So Al-Quran, stick to the Quran. The second thing that Dajjal will do is he will order the sky to rain and it will rain. So, and he also will put people in trial by his great wealth. Okay, so this is the fitna related to wealth. Okay, so we will know next time, inshallah, how to save us from the fitna related to wealth. Also, Ad-Dajjal will have the fitna related to knowledge. He will tell people foretelling, okay? He will tell them about reports that people don't know, and it will happen. So this is related to knowledge, okay? And we will go to the saving boat also after addressing the story of Musa and Al-Khidr. Ad-Dajjal also will dominate many parts of the earth. So this is related to the fitna of power. Yeah, power. So we will also address the saving boat of this fitna when we come to the story of Dhul Qarnayn. Okay, so this is the relation between Surah Al-Kahf and Ad-Dajjal. So hopefully we address inshallah the saving boots of each fitna related to ad-din, the face. We already covered this. Next time inshallah we'll address the saving boot of fitna of al-mal. Okay. By knowing. You see the fitna of mal, let me tell you ahead. The saving boot is by knowing the reality of this life. Okay. When you know the reality of this life and everything will perish, everything will vanish, your perspective to this life will be totally different. Okay. Also, we will move next time, not next time, maybe the time after the next, about the saving boat of fitnat al-ilm when we'll come to the story of Musa and Al-Khidr, and also we will come to the fitna related to the power when we'll come to the story of Dhul Qarnayn. So hopefully you work in parallel in memorization of Surah Al-Kahfi, because this is what will make the meanings of the surah we are explaining vivid and present in your heart. Okay, but if you feel that memorization is somehow harder for you, at least stick to the citation correction classes, attend it regularly. And try to work on memorization even if slow pace. Okay, at least the first 10 verses and the last 10 verses. Okay, because we have specific virtues of this as we mentioned before. So, do you have any questions? If not, we will end by this by saying سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك جزاكم الله خيرا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Sada, thank you. Jazakallah khairan
آمين
for your
وإياك
time and explain. Barakallah fiik.
آمين وإياك
May Allah
Sada,
subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for
I have
us
a
and make
request.
us.
Go ahead please
Sorry, I have a request. If Sister Iram just stop recording.